Welcome back. We got another show. Second time this week. I got my guy Mo on with me. We tackled the AFC. Or no, we did the NFC South last time. Now we're tackling AFC East, which I think outside of our own division, the NFC East, which obviously will be locked in on for the season. This might be the most exciting division to watch start to finish, just because of the changes that have been made with some of these teams. And we finally there might be a team that might finally finish last in the division for the first time since 2001, 2000, somewhere around there. Um, so, without further ado, obviously, like I said, got my guy Mo back with me. Knock this out real quick. So 2022 was a good year for the AFC East as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills winning that division with a 13-3 record, as expected at that time. Miami Dolphins making the playoffs at 9-8 was a really exciting team to watch. New England Patriots at 8-9, and the New York Jets, who started off strong. They started, they were in the top. They were in the fight for that division crown and possible, top two seeds in the conference, and they fell off towards the end when Zach Wilson was asked to basically lead the team. So they finished dead last at 7-10. They go out and get Aaron Rodgers this past season. Um, all too similar to the whole Brett Favre situation from 10, 15 years ago. He
Yeah.
wanted to leave Green Bay, get signed traded to the Jets. Let's hope that Aaron Rodgers can keep his dick in his pants and not send pictures to any reporters. Um, so Vikings fans, y'all might have a quarterback in a couple of years. We'll see. But first and foremost, Mo, are we in agreement that this is probably outside of the NFC East the most exciting division for us to watch this year?
It's one of the three. It's one of the three. I think the NFC East, I think the AFC East, I think the NFC West gonna be pretty exciting to watch too. I think those are the top three divisions for us to watch, and I can't wait to hear who covers the NFC West. And basically hear their opinion. But I think we're covering right now one of the three best divisions to watch in football.
Yep. I think the AFC North is gonna be solid. Looking at the standings last year, Bengals obviously 12-4, Ravens 10-7. I think it's gonna be one of the more exciting divisions to watch. And you gotta look at the AFC West. You know, Denver finally got a head coach. Nathaniel Hackett is out of there. I don't know if you guys have seen the comments that Sean Payton made about Nathaniel Hackett, which I thought was crazy. I figured, somebody like Sean Payton would not speak ill of another coach like that, but he laid into him a little bit. But they finally got a head coach, who earlier when we talked about short quarterbacks, Russell Wilson being one of the main guys.
Mm-hmm.
This guy led Drew Brees to a Super Bowl victory, got him a Super Bowl MVP. So let's see if he'll be able to do the same thing with them. So without further ado, as I've said in our first episode, as I've said in every episode, if you do not have a quarterback, you are not winning a lot of football games. Who in this division has the best quarterback?
The Bills, Josh Allen. Yep, I'm going the Bills, Josh Allen. I'm giving him the slight edge over Aaron Rodgers. Coming off a down season, I understand he had a broken thumb on his throwing hand. I know there's a lot of factors on why, Aaron Rodgers was the season prior to the past one was coming off an MVP and this and that. I think Josh Allen is the best quarterback in this division. I don't think it's by far. We talk, when we talk NFC South, it was clear cut. And there was really not an argument to be had about who the best quarterback in the division was. I'm going to give the slight edge to Josh Allen right now. I think he's the new up-and-coming guy. But I think Aaron Rodgers is right there. But I would take, if you ask me who would I take at quarterback for 1 year right now, I'm taking Josh Allen over Aaron Rodgers.
That's interesting. I would take Aaron Rodgers over Josh Allen right now, mainly because of just going off of what we saw last season. Aaron Rodgers still played at a high level last year. didn't have a whole lot of help, which has been, his excuse for the last few years. But I do think it's where that he complains that he doesn't have help in Green Bay, signs with New York, and then they basically sign all of his receivers from Green Bay that he just had.
Yeah, but they had some young guys. Like he did sign with New York. They brought Alan Lazard, and they brought a couple guys. They brought, I think, David Bakhtiari, the left tackle from Green Bay, is in New York right now. But at the same time, they had Garrett Wilson. Like they got Corey Davis. Like they had some young pieces too, where he feel like if I bring my vets back with me on top of the young guys, I got plenty of weapons right now. So I don't blame him for that. But, I guess we'll see. I guess this will be the telling test of like, okay, he's got a great defense, a lot of weapons. We don't know if he has a great head coach or not. But as far as talent on the roster, he's got everything around him. So I guess we'll see if last year was all on Aaron Rodgers or he just needed the right talent around him. And if that's the case, the Jets could reach the Super Bowl.
Yep. So you have Jets at number. You have Aaron Rodgers at number 2, second best quarterback.
Yeah. Rodgers is number 2, easily. Like Rodgers is 2 easily. I don't even think about it.
Yeah, we don't even really need to have a discussion on that.
2 or 3 and Mac Jones 4. I feel like if anybody else has different, then they would have Rodgers 1, Josh Allen 2. But I feel like easily 2 is 3 and Mac Jones is 4. And I feel like that's not. Your 1 and 2 might be an argument, but 3 and 4 is pretty, like, I'm comfortable putting 2 at 3 without even thinking about it. I'm easily putting Mac Jones as the worst quarterback in the division. We're talking about a guy who might not start over Bailey Zappi.
True.
Like Bailey Zappi might be number 4.
And I was actually going to bring that up. Mac Jones / Bailey Zappi. Bailey Zappi was 4th best quarterback in the division.
Yeah,
because Tua had a great year last year. Like there's no arguments about that. He had the concussion problems, but I think the difference maker with Tua, where I could see him jump up into that 2 and argument for that 1 spot, is Josh McDaniels or Mike Daniels, not Josh McDaniels. He's
Mike McDaniels. Yeah.
Mike McDaniels. I like him as a head coach. I think he's a player's coach. They just got to manage that concussion shit with Tua that was so mishandled last year. And I hope it doesn't affect him this year because I would love to see all 3 of those top quarterbacks in the division play all 6 games within the division, against each other. And I think it's going to come down to the last 3-4 weeks, and that's what the NFL wants when they switch to the divisional games, the last games of the season. This is why they wanted it, because there's going to be probably a division title on the line, but for sure there's going to be playoff spots on the line within this division.
Yeah,
that Week 18 Sunday night game would be my prediction. So we talked about quarterbacks, obviously the most important position in all of sports, not just football. But when we think about non-quarterback players who are going to have the biggest impact this season, who do you have? We'll start with Miami.
Man, I love my wide receivers.
You do.
I'm gonna say Tyreek Hill. I'm gonna say Tyreek Hill, bro. Like, I think they got Tyreek Hill, they got Jalen Waddle, they got some weapons. But at the end of the day, I think like this team offensively will go as Tyreek Hill goes. And we've seen an explosive year this past year from Tyreek Hill. Only because we're talking about most important non-QB, because I think it's really Tua's health is number 1 for Miami. But I think Tyreek Hill coincides with Tua's health. And if he's ready to go and Tyreek Hill is ready for another big season, then I think Miami's offense could be absolutely amazing. So Tyreek Hill is the most important non-quarterback for Miami.
I'm gonna stay with
the other guy is hurt. I just want to say that the guy that I would say is very important, he's hurt and probably won't play until December, because I say Tyreek Hill. I love my wide receivers, but I would say Jalen Ramsey. But Jalen Ramsey probably ain't gonna play until December due to his knee injury and having to get surgery. So.
Very true. I'm going to stay the wide receiver route though, and I'm going to go on the other side with Jalen Waddle
Mm-hmm.
because we know Tyreek's wide receiver number one. That's no discussion, no argument on that. He's
Yeah.
going to get a majority of the coverage, of the attention from the defense. DCs are going to go into the weekly game plan on Tuesday, Wednesday, and say, "Hey, we need to stop or slow down Tyreek Hill." Contrary to that, on the other side, gives Jalen Waddle chance to have another great year, another great season, a
Big
Pro
year.
Bowl, possibly All Pro type season, being that wide receiver too. So if he's able to cut these defenses up because of the lack of attention on him, because people are focusing so much on Tyreek Hill, that may force defensive coordinators to try to balance it out. And when you try to balance out, you try to single cover somebody like Tyreek Hill, he's open. I'm gonna tell you right now, he's open.
Is Jalen Waddle the best wide receiver 2 in the league?
Think I would have to look.
Tough.
It's hard to argue that he
Against it
isn't.
or for it? Because you got T. Higgins, you got Brandon Cooks. If you consider Brandon Cooks wide receiver 2 for Dallas, then you got Brandon Cooks. Jalen Waddle, you got Devontae Smith in Philly, being wide receiver 2 to AJ Brown. Like, you got a few guys where you're like, you can make an argument for it, but at the same time, or argument against it. But you could say Jalen Waddle might be the best wide receiver 2 in the league.
There's definitely a case for him. I mean, he had 1,300 yards last season. There's some
That's
wide
wide
receiver
receiver
ones.
2, bro.
There's some ones out there who aren't putting up 1,300 yards.
As wide receiver 2, he had 1,300 yards.
So with another year under his belt, with another year in this offense, I think that number should easily be north of 1,500. On top of his 8 touchdowns, that could do.
He
Yeah.
get over 1,500. So
He
you think combined Waddle and Hill go for 3,000
easily,
basically.
easily.
Sheesh, boy! If that happens, Tua wins MVP. If that happens, Tua wins MVP. If you think they got 2 1,500-yard receivers on their roster, then Tua wins MVP. 3,000 yards between two guys. He gonna have a tight end. He gonna have some dump passes to running backs. We're talking about a guy having a 5,000-yard season, plenty of touchdowns because Waddle and Hill are worth a bunch of touchdowns. They're worth 25 plus combined. If you think both of them are 1,500-yard plus guys, Tua wins MVP.
Yeah, because Tyreek Hill had 1,700 yards, had 1,710 with 7 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle had the 1,300 with 8 touchdowns.
Got 3,000. They both got 3,000 together. So, and Tua didn't even play the whole season. That's
right, which is what I was going to say.
So, if he played the whole season, they're able to copycat what they did for the most part. I mean, maybe Tyreek gets 16 and Waddle get 14. Tua might win MVP.
He'll definitely be in the conversation.
And you're not wrong for thinking that. You're not wrong at all for thinking that.
And we forget the Dolphins picked up Robbie Anderson. Which say what you want. They did.
They got chosen?
They got Mr. Chosen.
Oh, shoot.
Say what you want about him when he was in Carolina and Arizona. Those are 2 dysfunctional franchises.
But he's also the guy who he's the third option. He's really the 3rd/4th option because they still got Mike Gesicki. They have a running game. They got Mike McDaniels, the head coach. So, I mean, we're talking about this guy might be the 5th option on an explosive offense.
The hell of a 5th option, though.
Sheesh. The Dolphins is crazy.
I wouldn't be mad if that was my 5th option.
At all.
So you had Tyreek, I had Jalen Waddle. Let's go on to Buffalo. Who's your X factor, non-quarterback X factor?
Can we both agree it's Stephon Diggs?
We cannot agree that it's Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
I want
to ask you this. If it's not Stephon Diggs, is it Tre'Davious White?
No.
Okay. You know I love my positions of wide receiver and corner. I'm a quarterback, wide receiver, and corner guy. Outside of the guys getting to the quarterback, I don't think the Bills are elite at that. It's Diggs. Like, to me, it's Stephon Diggs. I think if Stephon Diggs has an elite year, I think if him and Josh Allen are on the same page, then I think the Buffalo Bills are the best team in the division. And they keep it moving. So I would love to hear who your X factor is for the Bills. I'm not gonna expound on Stephon Diggs. I'd love to hear yours.
Mine, and you're probably not gonna like this. You're gonna argue it. I think it's Dawson Knox.
No, I won't
Here's
argue
why.
it then. I won't argue it. If you're telling me, because we said with the NFC South, when we talked about the NFC South, I felt like there's tight ends. And then I talked about Mike Evans being the safety gap for Baker Mayfield, but he's a wide receiver. I could see where if you're coming from the same place that I said that about Mike Evans, I could see if Dawson Knox, but at the same time, like, are we sure Dawson Knox? My only pushback would be, are we sure Dawson Knox is going to be the best tight end on that team?
We're
They got
not.
a boy from Utah, Dalton Kincaid. And I don't like to weigh heavy on rookies. So I'm not saying he's going to be better than Dawson Knox, but the noise coming out of the Bills training camp is more Dalton Kincaid than Dawson Knox.
So then, can I say the tight end room, the tight ends as a whole,
Oh, then you
are
can
to
have
me
that. Yeah.
because just like we said, that safety net. I don't remember where I read it, and I don't remember if this is even a correct statistic, but I'm fairly certain I read there's someone on Twitter that Josh Allen was like in the top 10, top 5 of interceptions inside the 10-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
And I think something like that, it sounds right. I think Joe Burrow was up there too. But in order to alleviate that pressure, because he had a down year, he signed the big contract. We expected big things. We expected an MVP type season. We expected a deep playoff run. Ran into Joe Burrow and the Bengals in the divisional round. Um, we expected all these things from Josh Allen. Um, Highly disappointing season for his standards, for what we expected of him.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been a great season for any other, for 28 of the other quarterbacks in the league would have been considered a great season. In order to alleviate that pressure inside the 10-yard line and to mitigate those mistakes, I think his tight ends are going to have to come up big. It's going to have to be that safety blanket for him inside what we call the green zone.
I won't disagree with you, especially with hearing what we hear about Dalton Kincaid. And you're a Pac-12 guy. You love USC, so you know, like, bro, that dude at Utah was special.
Dude was
And
a
so
beast.
to hear that he's coming into the NFL special as well. We know Dawson Knox is a good tight end. Might not be great, but when you're talking about a guy who might be special, and then even if Kincaid is the best tight end on the roster right now, we know how good Dawson Knox can be. So we're talking about you got a good and very good tight end on opposite sides.
Right.
If they can block halfway decent, there's a lot you can do with that offense. With James Cook at running back, you know what I'm saying? The Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis at wide receiver, two tight ends who could catch the ball. And if they could block halfway decent, man, you arguably have set yourself up for an explosive offense.
So moving on to basically the daddies of the division for the last 25 years, who not looking good for them. We're going New England outside of obviously Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi, who is even if they have one, do they have a non-quarterback X factor?
Matthew Judon.
Okay.
I think Judon for the Patriots, he just signed an extension, didn't he? If I'm not mistaken, Judon just signed an extension with the Patriots.
I think it was more of a restructure.
Yeah, he restructured so that he gets paid a lot of money this year. I would say Judon. Like I said with the NFC South, I love a guy who can get after the quarterback. If you're not the quarterback and you're probably not your quarterback's favorite weapon, I love a guy who can get after the quarterback. So I say Matthew Judon. Let alone I say that with saying that the Patriots don't have a lot. Like, if we want to keep it real and we say most important non-QB, this is the first team that, if I say outside of quarterback, I think the head coach is the most important piece. And I know, like, we value coaching, but if you was to run me through every division, my thing is, does Bill Belichick have like his legacy on the line this year? So we could say player, but at the same time, I would go the coach route just to be like, does Bill Belichick, is his legacy on the line this year? Shit, is his job on the line this year?
So, you know what? We can even sidebar on that for a little bit because I do want to kind of dive into, now that we're on the topic.
Go ahead.
Yes, 100%.
Throwing it out for conversation. Is what I'm asking, is that, do you believe that I'm asking an irrational question?
No, I think you're right on the money, and I think his legacy is 100% on the line because let's go back to, what was it, 2019, 2020 when Brady left. The question was, is Belichick good because of Brady, or is Brady good because of Belichick? Like, which order? It was the chicken and the egg. Which came first?
And
who was responsible for whose?
Super Bowl.
Brady goes and wins the Super Bowl off rip. First season, wins the Super Bowl. And what has Bill done? He's been to one playoff.
Got blew out on top of that. He got blew out on top of that. But so here's my thing with Bill Belichick. Brady went to what I would say a position that's primed to win. Like, the Bucs roster was primed to win a Super Bowl. And I say that because when he got there, you look at his weapons, you look at everything like that, and then he got some of the veterans. He kind of pulled a LeBron James move, right? Like, okay, I see there's enough pieces here. You add me, and then you add Gronk, Fournette, and then you add a few pieces, Ndamukong Suh. Like, there's a lot. He valued, like, there's enough on free agency, and there's enough here already that I think I can win the championship. So Tom Brady goes and wins the championship. Is that Bill's fault, though? Like, do we really give all the credit to Tom Brady where he went and kind of LeBron James did for the first year, where he's like, there's enough talent already, and then there's enough talent in free agency for me to add to what I got going on to win a Super Bowl? Like, I know we give the credit to Tom Brady because he left Bill Belichick and he won the Super Bowl. But at the same time, like, if Bill Belichick made all the same moves and had a quarterback ready to go, do we not get the same result in New England? That's the $1 million question.
I understand what you're saying, and you're right. It's not Bill's fault that Tom Brady got to handpick his landing spot. And yes, he did.
He picked his landing spot. He picked his supporting cast on top of what he walked into. I mean, this man was too deep at damn near every position, and he picked that, and that's fine. I'm not mad at Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. There's no argument there. I'm not trying to make an argument for whether, because he made that move, did it establish him as the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, like, I think going into this year, we're really, like, I think now all the pressure is on Bill Belichick.
Yeah, because look, if Bill was the coach that we all thought he was, 3 years later, you should have something. Like, yeah, you should have something to show for it. And at this point, he doesn't. He has one playoff appearance that he got mollywopped in. And yes, it's not his fault that Tom Brady went and picked the perfect situation. But at the end of the day, all we're going to look at is the fact that Tom Brady immediately left and won another ring. But yeah, I don't think his job is on the line so much, only because Robert Kraft seems like a loyal person.
It is.
No, I don't think Robert Kraft will fire him.
I think Robert Kraft is getting over. I think Robert Kraft is on some. If there's a time to move on, it would be after this season. If the Patriots don't make the playoffs, if Bill Belichick don't win a playoff game, where would be the perfect time to start the new era? It'd be now. Tom Brady's retired. He's went to another roster and won a Super Bowl. Bill Belichick hasn't won a playoff game since then. And if he can't make the playoffs, let alone win a playoff game after this will be the perfect time to basically start over.
So do you think he outright fires him, or does he let him retire?
I think he lets him retire. I don't think he fires him. Bill Belichick is too great of a coach to have hanging over him that he got fired. This is a first ballot Hall of Famer coach. Yeah. Because when guys retire, they may come back in a year or two. Maybe Bill Belichick does. Maybe he's done and he goes to Fox Sports or ESPN. But at the end of the day, like when it comes out, it was Bill Belichick's decision, and it was a mutual agreement that we're moving on separate ways, which more points to retirement than firing. Yeah. You're not going to fire Bill Belichick. He's not going to hang that from here on out. He's not going to hang that on his head that he was a fired head coach. So I think he retires.
So I do like where you went with coach, and I was going to go towards Bill Belichick as well. But since you took him, I will go your wide receiver route. And this is mainly just because he's the most experienced guy for New England. Mm-hmm. He's the most experienced guy. He just came off winning a ring. So he knows what it takes to win. And I think he'll be key in mentoring Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi, not only in the game, but coming out with fire-ass TikToks as well. Juju Smith-Schuster. No, I got to show love for my USC guys. Yeah. But I think I forgot
Juju played for New England.
So did I.
So that's not bad because I forgot. So now that you remind me, that's not a bad pick.
Because if you I'm looking at their entire receiver room. Kayshawn Butt, who?
Butte.
Probably what he's going to be at the end of the season, Butte. Mario Douglas, who? Yeah. Tom Montgomery, okay. Trey Nixon, who? Devontae Parker hasn't been relevant in
damn near
years.
Who?
Tyreek Pitts, who I'm not his name. His name is now Thick Pitts, little Thicky Pitts.
I don't even know who that dude is.
He don't even have a number on here.
Yeah, he's gonna be like number 89 or something.
Matthew Slater, I think he's old as shit.
He's good with Brady, so
got Juju, Tyquan Thornton, and Raleigh Webb.
They got rid of Jacoby Myers, right? He's gone.
So damn, they got
your room sucks.
They got a whole bunch of who's in that wide receiver room. Their tight end room isn't bad. A whole
bunch of who?
Tight end room, Mike Gesicki, Hunter Henry, and then
Gesicki with New England. Mm-hmm. Shoot,
he do his ugly ass gritty up there in Boston.
Yeah, he ain't gonna do it gritty again.
I hope he does.
He won't.
I hope he hits that weak ass gritty, and then they show Bill Belichick's face, because we won't know what Bill Belichick is actually mad at, that he attempted it or that how bad it was. It'll be one of those two. So who you got for the Jets
as the most non-important quarterback?
Most important non-quarterback.
Sauce.
Okay.
It's Sauce Gardner. I've had the conversation in the group chat with the network. Like, is he becoming overrated? And it's not about hating on Sauce. It's just I don't value guys coming off it, even if they're an elite rookie season. I don't value them that same way. But is Sauce the next Darrelle Revis? And I think we're going into that year where we're gonna find that out. True. And if he is, then you're talking about the Jets having an elite defense. So I would have to say Sauce. If I moved away from Sauce, it would be Garrett Wilson. Is Garrett Wilson going to be not only the next great Ohio State receiver, but is he going to be Aaron Rodgers' favorite target? Which I think both becomes true. He's going to be a next great Ohio State receiver, and he's going to be Aaron Rodgers' next favorite target. But I'm going to say Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, I have Sauce as well. Just what he brings. I don't think we're approaching that overrated conversation yet.
Close.
He
Close.
no, because he played
But is
like
he one of the 3 best corners in football, in your opinion? Because I can't put him there only because he's only coming off his rookie season. I understand he made All-Pro. I get a lot of things, but at the same time, I just can't. And we talked about this with the NFC South. I don't weigh rookies that way. So that's just my personal thing. You
Right.
got it. I don't take rookies and disrespect the vets is my thing.
But we can't look at Sauce Gardner as a rookie anymore.
But he's
not
in
only
his second year. He's only in his second year. Like he's going into his second year, bro.
but he still played against NFL vets and put up or kept his numbers
Let me
low.
ask you this. Sauce Gardner, cornerback position, where is he? And if you say a number, if you say top 5, name 4 better receivers or name 4 better corners better than him, no matter where you put them, top whatever. Name, if you say top 5, name 4 guys better than him. If you say top 3, name 2 guys better than him. Where is Sauce Gardner for you as far as cornerback rankings?
That's why I wasn't even going to say a number. I'm actually going to list off the guys who
I just want
right now are still better. Jalen Ramsey,
okay.
I still have above him.
He's injured, so if somebody want to give you pushback, that's fine. But I'm with you. Okay.
No, but even then, we still know what Jalen Ramsey is and what he brings to a team.
He won't be here till December. So if somebody count out Jalen Ramsey for the argument, that's fine. But I'm with you. Like I think Jalen Ramsey is a better corner. Okay. Oh, you about to struggle. You're struggling after Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, people who are better than Sauce Gardner? Yeah, I'm struggling.
Patrick Surtain Jr.
No, I wouldn't.
Bro, I'm taking Surtain Jr. over.
You take Diggs over him?
Yeah, I think they're in the same category.
Okay.
I think you could argue both, and I won't. If you say I'll take Sauce over Diggs, I won't argue. Like I'll be like, all right, cool. If you say I'll take Diggs over Sauce, that's fine. I won't argue that point. I'll give you that regardless of which way you rock with.
I'll say Marlon Humphreys, maybe.
Okay. I think Sauce, Diggs, Humphrey, I think AJ Terrell, I think Stephon Gilmore, I think they're all in the same like category. Where I can argue one either way, but I think they're all in the same category as far as who's better.
So is it safe to say that we could both put Jalen Ramsey in that tier 1 and then start in tier 2?
1 in my opinion.
Right. But is he the only tier 1 and then tier 2 is a group of guys we just listed off?
It's tough. He's coming off. Yeah. I'll say Jalen Ramsey is the guy. And then I say after that is Sauce, it's Trey White, it's Trayvon Diggs, it's Stephon Gilmore. Who else? Is AJ Terrell. Like I think that tier 2 is very deep. Very deep on who's the best. And if you take one of those guys out that pack and say that's the guy, I won't argue with you on that. Because they're all like I think that tier 2 of corners is like the tier 3 of quarterbacks. Like I think it's the Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr. I could go down the line. I think the tier 2 of corners is equivalent to the tier 3 of quarterbacks.
Let me look something up real quick. Because I want to see. Let's see who did they play last year?
I know you ain't about to try what. I know you ain't about to try and throw a Washington Commander in that group.
Corners in that? No, I'm not. Absolutely not.
You're not trying to throw a corner in there.
No. I'm looking.
Corner that might be in that group, we got to see him play. Forbes might be in that group at the end of the year, but we got to see him play.
He just hurt his groin, so.
Yeah, he'll be fine. They're going to play it cautious. He'll be there week 1. He'll be fine.
So week 1, this is the Jets schedule last year. Week 1, they played Baltimore. Who was their wide receiver last year? They didn't really have one.
No, at all.
Cleveland.
Denzel Ward. They got Denzel Ward. I forgot about.
No, I'm talking about the receivers. Like who he would have faced.
Amari Cooper.
Okay. You got the Bengals, which they're lining up against Jamar Chase. Either one, tough day. Steelers, Pickens.
No, I would say last year would be Deontay Johnson. Especially early in the season, I would say Deontay Johnson.
Week 5, Miami, Tyreek Hill.
Hill or Waddle.
Week 6, Green Bay, nobody.
Not a damn soul.
Week 7 at Denver, the whole team was ass.
Trash.
Week 8 against New England, garbage.
Trash. Devontae Parker.
Week 9 against the Bills, Diggs. Week 10 bye. Week 11 again against the Patriots, nobody.
Trash.
Week 12 against the Bears, nobody. Week 13 against the Vikings, Jefferson. 14 was Diggs again at Buffalo. 15 against Detroit. So either Amon St. Brown.
St. Brown, probably. I would say St. Brown. Like, that's wide receiver 1 for the Lions.
That late in the season, week 15.
Yeah, he was kind of that guy.
Week 16 against the Jags, Christian Kirk.
Probably.
DJ Chark.
Christian Kirk Chark was with the Lions at that point.
Oh.
So probably Christian Kirk or or Zay Jones. So
Week 17, the Seahawks. DK.
Metcalf or Lockett, whoever he guarded, I'll give him credit for that, regardless of the side.
And then week 18 at Miami. So again, Waddle or Hill.
Yeah. Are we hitting the point where we're weighing Sauce so high that he might be a little overrated?
Might be on something.
He might. I'm not saying, when I say overrated, I'm not trying to hate on dude. All I'm saying is look at his matchups. It was his rookie year. Look at all the corners that were injured. He made all pro, and then we're going into next year and we weigh him as a top 3 corner, but we going into the season with everybody prepared to be healthy, we really about to see how good he is. Like, we gonna see. And he around there getting cooked by his own wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, who's in the same, like, they got drafted at the same time. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm not saying he's not very good. All I'm saying is when we take a rookie at any position and say they're great, which is where everybody's taking Sauce Gardner, like, all right, let's look at next year. Shit, let's look at training camp where his own wide receiver, his own best wide receiver, and Garrett Wilson is right there cooking him. Like, you got a whole nother season ahead, and the Jets were okay. They got a good schedule. Like, we're gonna see what he looked like against this year's schedule, and maybe we start putting him in that category, but I ain't ready to put him there yet.
Let's see their schedule this year. Week 1, Buffalo, Diggs. Week 2, Dallas.
Lamb.
Patriots, week 3, nobody.
Don't care. Yeah.
Week 4, Kansas City. Not any big name receivers, but Patrick Mahomes.
Like, you're at the end of the day, you're a corner having to go against Mahomes.
Week 5 at Denver.
Sutton, probably.
Okay. Week 6 against Philly, AJ Brown.
Or Devontae Smith. Shit, you're kind of screwed either way.
Week 7's a bye. Week 8 at the Giants, Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
But still, just like how we talked about, he's going up against Patrick Mahomes. Basically, he has Daniel Jones week 8. Let's pump the brakes on that a little bit. Week 9, the Chargers.
Shit. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, or Quentin Johnston. Pick your poison.
Week 10 at the Raiders.
Devontae Adams.
With Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe.
But Devontae Adams. At the end of the day, he's going to be one-on-one against Devontae Adams.
Week 11 at Buffalo, so Diggs again there.
Diggs again.
Week 12 is Hill and Waddle with Miami. Week 13, the Falcons. So they got Drake London, but with Desmond Ridder at quarterback.
Yeah, but I would probably say like one-on-one matchup is against London.
Week 14, Houston.
John Mechie, or he probably wins that matchup pretty easily.
Week 15 at Miami. So again, Hill.
Back Hill or Waddle.
16 against the Commanders, Terry McLaurin.
Terry kills him.
17, I hope so. 17 at Cleveland.
Who's there? Amari Cooper.
Is he still with Cleveland?
Yeah, he's with Cleveland. Amari Cooper.
And then week 18, the Patriots, nobody. So a little bit more competition this year coming up.
Yeah.
So I'm not completely sold on the whole overrated, but I understand where you're coming from 100%.
I'm not saying he's full blown overrated. I'm just saying, like, I'm just leaving the question, like, Are we overrating him?
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Again, I get what you're saying. This year's gonna be that litmus test.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Prediction time. Who's finishing 4th in this division?
The Patriots.
Patriots finishing last.
Patriots. Yeah.
Mac Jones.
They suck.
Didn't see much from him last year to think that he was gonna be the next Tom Brady or even.
No, they suck.
So here's where it gets interesting. Who do you have finishing 3rd?
Woo! I must say, damn. I'm gonna say the Jets.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Jets, bro. Because I think I say this to say I think 3 teams could make the playoffs from this division.
Okay.
I think this could be, so I'm gonna say the Jets. I know Aaron Rodgers is pretty damn good. He's an MVP, but if Aaron Rodgers takes a slight fall off, then yeah, I'm gonna say the Jets are at 3.
So we have Miami at 2.
No, I'm gonna say Buffalo at 2.
You got Miami winning the division.
I think Miami wins the division. Yep. I think Tua is healthy for the whole season, and I look at Miami. I know they're missing Jalen Ramsey, but at the end of the day, I think Miami win the division.
No, I can't count out Josh Allen.
You can't, but at the end of the day, I'm finally jumping on. I can't count out Josh Allen until the playoffs. And so now I'm going to count him out that when it's time to get to the playoffs, he folds. And he'll get to the playoffs, but he won't win the division. I think Tua and Miami do it.
So we got Miami finishing 1st, Buffalo 2nd, the Jets coming in 3rd, possibly all 3 playoff teams, and New England and possibly Bill Belichick.
They're dead last. They're not making the playoffs. They're trash.
And Bill Belichick's possibly his last season.
Yeah, I'm there where I think it's possibly Bill Belichick's last season.
Well, that'll do it for us. Mo, go ahead and tell the people what you got coming up in the future.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, shoot, Rob done got me going. So you can follow Up in Flames Pod at Up in Flames Pod on Instagram, at Mo_Cheese15 on Twitter. It's football season. We coming. I don't fully know. I'm trying to figure out a schedule of how I can get things going, but at the same time, Up in Flames about to get back pumping football season coming up, college football season coming up, and then basketball season will be turning around right after that. But at the end of the day, Rob, I just appreciate you for having me on.
Absolutely. You already know where you can find me, FNC Pod on Twitter, Football and Show Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Like most said, football seasons heating up. We got Thursday starts official week 1 of preseason, regular season coming up. So you already know we're coming back with see you Sunday. We got Overaction Monday. Cruise Island is coming back with a couple. I think my first one, I'm gonna let y'all in on this little preview real quick. What does it take to be a college U? Because I see a lot of these colleges being wide receiver U, quarterback U, DBU, and I got a problem with some of them.
It's
At
all
you,
different schools,
looking
though.
at you, Oklahoma. Looking at you.
Oklahoma is the one. I'm glad you said that. Oklahoma is the one.
So I'm gonna take a dive into what it takes to be position you at a given college and what the criteria. That might be my first Cruise Island show back. But once again, thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed all the rest of the episodes. Don't forget all the ones that are coming up. For me and Mo,